You know, when you think cyber attack, what comes to mind? Probably some hacker in a dark room, right? Miles and miles away. But what if I told you that some of the biggest, sneakiest threats aren't hiding behind a screen at all? What if they were right beside you, or already inside your office, or even built into that brand new device you just unboxed? So that begs the question, doesn't it? Where do these attacks really come from? If we push past all the movie stereotypes, we find that the origins of some of the most effective breaches, well, they're hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I'm talking about some threats that are literally in the same room as you.
And then you've got the ones that don't even need to break in because, well, they're already inside.
And maybe the most unsettling of all, some threats actually get delivered right to your door, hidden inside a factory-sealed box. So today, we're going to unpack these 3 hidden cyber threats. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, let's talk about the threat that could be sitting at the next table over in the coffee shop. This is what we call a close-in attack.
So what exactly is it? The name kinda gives it away, right? A close-in attack is one where the bad guy has to be physically near you. We're talking close enough to literally look over your shoulder or even get their hands on your device. It's all about being right there. And what's so wild about these is how honestly low-tech they can be. This isn't always about super complex hacking. It could be as simple as shoulder surfing, just peeking at your screen to grab a password. Or think about someone finding a laptop left open and plugging in a malicious USB drive. It's not about sophisticated code. It's all about spotting an opening.
Okay, so how do you stop this? The good news is it's mostly about good old-fashioned security habits. First, just try not to work on anything super sensitive when you're out in public. A really great tool is a privacy screen protector, you know, the ones that make your screen look black from the side. And the biggest one, the one we all forget sometimes, always lock your device when you get up, even if it's just for a second.
Okay, moving on to a second type of threat. We're going from a stranger sitting next to you to someone you probably know and trust. We're talking about a threat that's already inside the building. This is the insider attack.
So an insider attack is exactly what it sounds like. It's carried out by someone who's already on the inside, an employee, a contractor, maybe even a partner company. And that's what makes them so dangerous. They already have the keys to the kingdom. They've got legitimate access, which makes spotting them, well, it's incredibly tough.
And you know, this can go down a couple of different ways. Sure, you have the classic scenario, the disgruntled employee who decides to steal company data on their way out. But honestly, it's not always malicious. A lot of the time, it's just an honest mistake. Somebody clicks on a phishing link they shouldn't have, or they misuse their admin access without realizing the danger. Malicious or not, the end result can be just as bad, a massive security breach.
So for a company, how do you defend against this? It's really got to be a multi-layered approach. It all starts with something called the principle of least privilege. Sounds fancy, but it just means people should only have access to the exact things they need to do their job, and nothing more. Then, you back that up with monitoring systems that can flag weird activity. And finally, you have to train your people, constantly. You got to build a culture where everyone is thinking about security.
All right, on to our third and final threat. And this one is in play before that new laptop or phone even gets to you. We're talking about a distribution attack, which you might also hear called a supply chain attack. What is that?
Well, a distribution attack is when a device or a piece of software is tampered with before it ever reaches you. The compromise happens somewhere in the supply chain, on the factory floor, during shipping, somewhere along that long journey.
This is a huge challenge because our supply chains are so global and complex, right? Think about it. A component could be tampered with during manufacturing. Malware could be loaded onto a device before it's even packaged. Or maybe it gets hit with a fake software update that looks totally real. The scary part is, the device is compromised from the moment you turn it on.
So what can we do about it? Honestly, it really comes down to being vigilant. Always buy from trusted official sellers. If a deal online seems way too good to be true, it probably is. And whenever you get a new gadget, the very first thing you should do is run a security check and install any and all official updates right from the manufacturer.
All right, so let's recap. We've got threats right beside you, threats from inside your own team, and threats that come from the supply chain. Let's pull it all together and see how they compare so we can figure out how to stay ahead of the game.
So, if you look at this, it's pretty clear. The close-in attack, that's someone physically nearby while you're using your stuff. The insider attack, that's a trusted person, also happening while you're using your systems.
But the distribution attack is the outlier. It happens before the product is even delivered. See the pattern? The source and the timing might be different, but what they all have in common is that they totally sidestep your typical firewall or antivirus software.
So what's the big takeaway here? If you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. Real security isn't just about a complicated password. It's a mindset. It's about being aware of who's around you, who you trust with access, and where your technology is actually coming from.
Really, it all boils down to one simple question you should be asking yourself every single day. Is my shield up? You've got to stay alert out there. Stay secure.